Okay, in this video, we're going to set up a virtual environment. And a virtual environment is a Python coding thing. Anytime you want to create Python code, you want to set up a Python project, it's a good idea to set up a virtual environment. And a virtual environment is sort of like a little walled garden inside of your computer. And inside of our virtual environment, we can install different libraries, different modules, different tools, and it will sort of keep those things separate from the rest of our computer. So it's a good idea when you're writing Python code to do that for a lot of different reasons. So one of the main reasons is version control. From time to time, there are different versions of the tools that you're going to use in your project that come out. For instance, Python may have a different version of Python in the future. If you need to use a specific version of a specific thing, it's much easier to do that inside of a virtual environment. And so that's one of the big reasons why we do it. Another reason is, it contains all of the stuff inside of the virtual environment, and it sort of keeps it separate from the rest of the computer. So if we mess something up, it's messed up inside of the virtual environment and it's contained in there, and it doesn't sort of spread to the rest of the computer. So it's just a good idea to set up a virtual environment whenever you're doing any sort of Python coding. It's just really best practices. So that's what we're going to do in this video, and it's really easy to do. So I've opened up the Git Bash terminal. If you don't remember, head over to your Windows Start menu and just type in Git. The Git Bash icon will pop up. Just go ahead and click that, and this should appear. So you'll notice at the top it says Codemy at Codemy. That's my Windows login name. So yours is going to be different. This min GW64, that's just the Git Bash prompt. So you can just sort of ignore that. And right here, this little $, this is the terminal prompt. This is where we can type in our commands. So the first thing we want to do is create a directory on our computer where we're going to hold all of our project files. So to do that, we could type in mkdir, stands for make directory. And I want to put this in the C drive, and let's put this in a folder called Python-Excel. Okay, now if you're on a Mac or a Linux, obviously there is no C drive, so you can just create a directory anywhere on your computer where you're comfortable putting it. And the command is the same, mkdir, and then whatever, and then name it whatever you want. So okay, so now we want to move into that directory. So we do that with the cd command. It stands for change directory. And we just type in that directory we just created. So c/python-excel. Okay, and you'll notice right here, it says we're in that directory. So now we can type in the ls command if we want to list the stuff that's in this directory. And you'll notice there's nothing in there because we just created this directory. There's nothing in there yet. So in the next video, we'll go ahead and create our first Python file. But for now, we can just leave it blank. So now we want to create our virtual environment. And to do that, we're going to use something called venv, V-E-N-V. And that just stands for virtual environment. And it comes with Python already, so we don't have to actually install it. We just need to use it. So to use it, type in Python-M, and then V-E-N-V. And then let's name our virtual environment. And I'm going to call ours virt, short for virtual. So you can name it anything you want, but I suggest you just call it virt. And go ahead and click enter, and this will take a couple of seconds in order to spin up the virtual environment. And boom, now it's installed. So we've installed virtual environment. Now we need to turn it on. And now if we type in the ls command to list the stuff in this directory, you notice now there's this virt directory that we just created. And it's called virt because right here, we called it virt. If we would have typed Bob right there, it would be Bob right there. So virt is the name of it. So all of our virtual environment files are located there. So now we want to turn on our virtual environment. And to do that, we type in source, and then a space, and then virt /, and then scripts, capital S, and then activate. And when we do, you'll notice now above our terminal prompt is this virt in parentheses. And that's what lets us know our virtual environment has been turned on. So congratulations, if you see this little virt thing on here, it means you've created and installed and turned on your virtual environment, and you're good to go. If you're on a Mac or a Linux, this command may not work, in which case try source bin/activate, I think is the Mac command, or /bin activate. One of those two should work for Mac or Linux. But for Windows users, it's just source virt scripts activate. So all right, let's go ahead and clear the screen. And you'll notice again that virt is still there. So if you want to turn off your virtual environment, you can just type in deactivate. And you'll notice now this little vert is gone above our terminal prompt. So that means it's been turned off. So I'm going to press the up arrow key a few times to cycle through the last few commands we typed, so we don't have to retype this again, until I get to this source vert scripts activate command. And now I'm just going to hit enter to turn our virtual environment back on, and we're ready to go. So that's all for this video. In the next video, we'll go ahead and create our first Python program.